9, it says, and Hiram. Now, when you look up Hiram Abiff, he was a Canaanite, and he was the one that built the temple of Solomon. I mean, to the Most High, the temple, and the first temple, and he also built Solomon's house. And it took 7 years to build the temple of the Lord to the Lord Yahweh, but it took 14 years to build Solomon's house. So you know that was a bad, and they go into it. They go into the, man, everything was gold. I mean, this man was living, he was living the life, man. You want to talk about lifestyles of the rich and famous. I mean, he was the king of that, you know. And that was Yahweh Shai coming back in the reincarnation, right? That's right, man. It says, and Hiram, which was a Canaanite, sent in the navy because Solomon set him up. He said, you're going to be in charge of my navy. Excuse me. He said, and Hiram sent in the navy his servants, because Hiram was, you know, he was highly esteemed, so he had his servants, which are other Canaanites, and the Canaanites, which you know as today as the Phoenicians. Those are the Canaanites. That's the Greek way of saying Canaan, Phoenician, all right? It says, shipmen that had knowledge of the sea, which the apostles just read. It says shipmen that had knowledge of the sea with the servants of Solomon. So Solomon didn't have to do nothing. He had certain guys, Canaanites, Hiram, if you want to put a name on it, he was in charge of that. So he had Canaanites going back and forth to the Americas. Other Israelites didn't have to go back over there, but they knew that that land was over there, man. Which is spoken of in Deuteronomy, man. Yeah. You know? I got something for you to talk. And then we gotta go back into Abraham.
Khan, this is out of Josephus, right? I don't remember the exact quote, but this is just a little something off of there. It says the so-called letter of Aristeas presents itself as an account written by Aristeas to his brother Philocrates. It says on how the Jewish scriptures came to be translated into Greek in the 3rd century BCE. The text is not really a letter, but a narrative. Aristeas describes himself as an official in the court of Ptolemy II, Philadelphus, 285 to 46 BCE, a non-Jew who, with his brother, has developed an admiration for Judaism and the Jews as a people. He explains how it came to the attention of the librarian Demetrius of Phalerum that the library at Alexandria did not possess a copy of the law of the Jews. Thus Ptolemy determined that a Greek translation of the law of the Jews should be made and deposited in the library. He then sent Aristeas and Andreas, the captain of the bodyguard, to petition the high priest Eleazar to send translators to Alexandria in order to translate the law of the Jews into Greek. The letter of Aristeas is an account how that translation came to be as told by Aristeas, because you know the Apostle Tahar just mentioned how that you know, you had the Rosetta Stone, you know, in the translation of the Rosetta Stone from Francis Champollion, which is the guy that actually you guys get the translation of the hieroglyphs from, you know. So they also translated the laws, our laws, you know, into the language of the Greeks, which they use what they call a Septuagint, which they use the Israelites to do, you know. So just to let you know that these devils, they keep these records, all right. So now I just had a quick precept, and then we're gonna go back to
this right here, and we got to get back into Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But we did say other biblical history, right? It says the Rosetta Stone, right? What is the Rosetta Stone, right? The Rosetta Stone is a stone with writing on it in 2 languages, Egyptian and Greek, using the scripts hieroglyphic, Demotic, and Greek. So that's what the Rosetta Stone was all about. That's how the Greeks knew the so-called Egyptians, Mizraim, we should call them. The Arabs, the Ishmaelites, call them Misrim or Misrim, which is that's their real name. They wouldn't. Egypt is the name that the Greeks gave them. That's a Greek word. All right, but they were the ones when they conquered them. They had Egyptians who learned the Greek writings and how to speak Greek, and it translated from the Egyptian so-called hieroglyphs writings to the Greeks. They said they did the same thing with our records. When they wrote the Septuagint, they had an Israelite or a number of Hebrew Israelite scholars or Israelite scholars translated from the law and the prophets, if I'm not mistaken, from the Hebrew, the Lashon Kodash, into the Greek. It's simple. It's not hard.
So I got a quick precept. This is Job chapter 8, verse 8. For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers. For we are but of yesterday and know nothing, because our days upon earth are a shadow. So what are we supposed to be doing? We're supposed to be searching for our fathers, which are Israelites. It says, shall not they teach thee and tell thee and utter words out of their heart? So that's how you're able to get this information. The Lord opens up your mind. Excuse me. You do the studying. You go through the different precepts. And then there's certain articles out there, or certain relics, or certain things out there that help corroborate what the scriptures are saying. And that's the only reason we're going to any source outside of the Bible, is if it corroborates what the scriptures are saying, because this is the measuring stick. That's why the Lord told the angel to pull out the reed like unto a rod. This is the measuring stick that he was measuring with. You have some?
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus 44:1. It said, let us now praise famous men and our fathers that begat us. That's why the Spirit got the apostles going into the history of Abraham and the other great men in the Bible, because those are great men. Those are our elders. It says the Lord have wrought great glory by them through his great power from the beginning. And when you go into Abraham and Abraham's history, you find out Abraham was the one who taught the Hamites, like all that mathematics and everything. Yep, that all go back to Abraham, man. All right? That's right. That's all back to Abraham. And that's why it says, how it go, Israel is the form of all things. The power of Israel is the form of all things. Because Israel is the one that set the standards. Back then it was Abraham, because Israel wasn't developed as a nation at that time. All right, but Abraham was the one that was the Most High blessed with all that knowledge, wisdom, and truth, mathematics. All right, it says, such did bear rule in their kingdoms, men renowned for their power, giving counsel by their understanding, and declaring prophecies. And even back then, they were declaring prophecies. How the Lord showed Abraham a vision, which was prophetic, about how we were going to go into the Egypt, and how we were going to be in there for slaves for a certain amount of time, for 400 years.
And it's ironic that all these so-called pro-Kemetic Islamic guys, whatever they want to call themselves in the black conscious community, none of them guys could bring out they're all in America. Their line all goes back to their foreparents being slaves and brought over here, and they all agree on that. All the black ones, the Jamaicans too, the West Indians, the Haitians, they all agree that they were brought over here against their will in slave ships from the other side of the world, namely Africa, right? And there's history of Israel fleeing into Africa. That's in Babylon and Timbuktu. That's right. Rudolph R. Windsor. All right. But they can't give you the prophecy. They can't go into any of their books and give you the actual prophecy of why are they over here. They can't do that. That's right. This man, you guys are out of your damn mind, man. But you know what? We can't get mad at you, man. The Most High put that veil over your eye, and he got it tightly wrapped around you, or wrapped around your eyes and your head. And when I say head, I mean your brain and your spirit, man. We looking at you as lost souls, man. You know? Go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
Two more verses. Verse 7. It says, all these were honored in their generations and were the glory of their times. All right, speaking about Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, all the patriarchs. It says, there be of them that have left a name behind them, and that their praises might